In this video, I'm going to show you how to solve an absolute value inequality. In one of my previous videos, I've shown you how to solve an absolute value equation. In it, we defined absolute value as the distance from a number to 0. And that's the same idea we're going to base this off of. So here I have a problem. I have absolute value of x minus 4 is less than 3. And what I'm looking for is what are all of the values of x that will give me a distance that is less than 3 away from 0. Let's jump into how we solve it. What we're going to do, similar to that of absolute value equations, we're going to set up two problems, two inequalities for us to solve. The first inequality we're going to look at is this one. We're going to look at x minus 4 is less than 3. This is the first inequality. Basically, we drop the absolute value bars, and then we go ahead and solve this. Well, before I solve this, I'm going to set up my other absolute value equation. And that one is x minus 4 is greater than negative 3. So what we do is we set it up, we drop the bars, then we flip the inequality, and we make the number, take the number that's positive and make it negative. But before I go any farther, I have to write this as a compound inequality. Now there's a little nifty trick. If you remember, a compound inequality can either be an and inequality or an or inequality. This one is going to be an and inequality. And you could be wondering, well, how do I know it's going to be an and inequality? Here's how you know. If you take a look at this symbol, let me highlight it for you. This symbol right here at the very beginning. If it is a less than, we write it as, we say less than, just a little trick to help you remember it. It's a less than sign. So it's going to be an and inequality. If I have a greater, and this could be greater than or equal to also, this one could be less than or equal to also, we say this is greater. A greater than sign. And that tells us we're going to have an or inequality. Well, since this one is a less than sign to start, less than, it's going to be an and inequality. So that's the original groundwork we need to do, set up our two equations. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and solve each of these. So I draw my wonderful brick wall, and well, for here I need to add 4 to both sides. I need to add 4 to both sides. So let's see, this gives me x is less than 7, and this gives me x is greater than 1. So these are the two possibilities. They're the range for the x values that make this distance less than 3. Well, now I'm going to go ahead and graph it. So let's graph this inequality. So first of all, I'm going to look at this one. And I'm basically just going to graph both of these inequalities on the same line and see what happens. So first of all, I have x less than 7. So let me graph that. So for this one, we're going to have an open circle because it is not equal to. And then I'm going to go to the left. I want to show all the numbers smaller than 7. So I go and there's that. Next, I'm going to go ahead and graph this one. Well, this says x is greater than 1. Well, it's not equal to, so I'm going to do an open symbol, or an open circle. Then I'm going to go to the right. I'm showing that all my numbers are bigger than 1. Well, in order to be a solution for an and inequality, it has to satisfy, a number has to satisfy both inequalities at the same time. Well, looking at this graph, the region where that works is right here. It's where the two lines overlap. Now, if you want to get real fancy, you can erase this. You can erase this and graph your and inequality just like that. So that's how you solve a basic absolute value equation. Let's go ahead and do another. So here I've got absolute value of 3x is greater than or equal to 9. So again, I'm going to start out by setting up my two inequalities. So the first one is 3x is greater than or equal to 9. My second one is 3x is less than or equal to, we flip that, and we change this to a negative, negative 9. Then I need to determine if it's an and or an or inequality. Well, this one, I see my greater sign greater and equal to. So this is going to be an or inequality. Then I go ahead and I solve it. So let's see, here I'm going to divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. So this gives me x is greater than or equal to 3, and x is less than or equal to negative 3. So I've solved it, and got to remember to write my or. Then I'm going to go ahead and graph it. So let's see, this says x is greater than or equal to 3. So I'm going to come over here, greater than or equal to. So this says equal to, meaning 3 is a solution. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in my circle, fill in my dot. Then I'm going to show all the numbers bigger than 3. All the numbers bigger than 3 are that way. Then graphing this one, I come over to negative 3. Since it says less than or equal to, I'm going to fill in my circle. And then I want to show all the numbers smaller than negative 3. So there I draw my arrow. So that is a basic tutorial on how to solve basic absolute value inequalities.